I think Digimon is way better than They're both good. It was Christmas, 2000, sitting on the floor of my grandparents' place opening gifts, surrounded by Bionicles and dinosaur skeleton kits and the like, stuff I asked for. I opened a familiar-shaped gift to find something a little less so. I didn't know there was Digimon games. Hell yeah! And I proceeded to play this thing on and off for years. Started a huge Digimon craze for myself, actually. And at no point did I get anywhere near completing it. It would go like this. I would get a Digimon, I would stock up on mushrooms and meat for the inevitable would happen and I would get Tyrannomon would eat all my food and then starve to death. And in the process, I might help a Dromogimon or something? This game was hard. I used to get real excited about the concept of getting, like, every attack and filling out the branching Digivolution paths. I had no idea what the point of the game even was. And of course I was like 8, so the poop humor hit really well. Shit on the floor. The premise of Digimon World is that Digimon on File Island are losing their memories and becoming feral, so Digimon sucks a child into his V-Pet to save the island and bring it back to its former glory.
Dude's living in a box!
This game predates the show in Japan, so it's based entirely on the V-Pet. The Digimon V-Pet being a Tamagotchi spin-off more directed at boys with the training and battling of monsters. So instead of linear evolution paths, your Agumon could digivolve into a Greymon, but it could also turn into a Marumon, Bergermon, Centarumon, Monochromon, or Tyrannomon. Actually, good luck getting Greymon, he's like one of the hardest ones to get. Digimon World is essentially a console version of the V-Pet with an added plot. You'll be spending most of your time raising your Digimon, training them, feeding them, scolding them, training them, praising them, taking them to the bathroom, training them, battling them, watching them die, training them. But here's where the main issue lies. This game doesn't explain anything. Like, some things are easy to understand. Take a few rounds in the Punch-O-Matic and you gain some defense. He screamed for meat, you give him meat. Shit on the floor too much and you'll turn into one. If you die in the game, you die for real. But how do I get Greymon from Agumon? Who knows? Your Digimon have 6 base stats in HP, MP, offense, defense, speed, and brains, which all affect combat as well as being relevant in Digivolution, along with happiness, discipline, weight, how many care mistakes you've made, how many techniques you know, and how many battles they've been in. There's a lot that goes into digivolving into a specific Digimon. And where does it explain this? It does not. People have data mined the game, and we're still not sure what all counts as a care mistake. And man, do I hate purposefully going for care mistakes. I don't quite understand being rewarded for taking terrible care of your Digimon. I love this goober. If he wants to bathroom, I'm gonna take him to the bathroom. Oh, and your Digimon has a limited lifespan too. An in-game hour goes by for every real-time minute. The exception is that every round of training will fast forward an hour, and going to sleep jumps forward a chunk too. Your stats dictate what your Digimon will turn into, but they don't digivolve until it's time. 6 to 12 hours to digivolve from a baby to an in-training, 1 to 2 days to hit rookie, 4 to 6 days for champion, and then the final stage in this game, Ultimate, takes about 11 to 12 days in total. And then your Digimon rarely lives past 15 days. You're fully intended to ram yourself at this, trial and error through many Digi-lifetimes and somehow figure out what you did to get certain Digimon? Even if you know exactly how to get certain Digimon, by the time you get a good Ultimate to take with you to do plot stuff, you've only got a few days to do a handful of events before they just up and croak because they're too old. Their happiness influences how old they can get too, so a Digimon that requires low happiness to acquire is going to have an even shorter lifespan. It's like the V-Pet, but it hurts! Most of the Digimon in the world that you need to recruit require a battle along with all the other randos that are everywhere in the world, but if you lose 3 times, your Digimon just straight up dies. Every single match is stressful as fuck, because you never know how strong they are at a glance, and you never actually control your Digimon yourself either. And they end up spending so much time just fucking sitting there. They make better decisions with a higher brain stat, but like, if the Digimon you're going for requires low brains, what are you supposed to do? If you get their brain stat high enough, you can hit a point where you can tell them specific moves to use, but even then it's hit and miss. The only things you really have any control over in battles is tossing floppy drives, and if their finish bar is full, they need your input to hit them with the Baja Blast.
Suck my dick, Bergermon!
Follow my Twitch. Avoiding battles is an absolute must to get where you're going. but some of the areas are so zoomed in that you can't see what's around you until they're already half down your throat. Luckily, I streamed this game and I had some very dedicated fans pop in and direct me to some gorgeous guides that I'll link in the description if you ever want to give this thing a go yourselves. And even with these guides, things don't always go as intended. You could be going for a Digimon that requires specific stats, but you'll get something else that just happens to have a lot of overlap, you know what I mean? A fun little thing I learned from them though is that once you have the shop, you can sell your big meat and sirloin for a boatload and buy the equivalent or more in regular meat for peanuts, so I ended up with a ton of money. Also, yeah, you get free daily meat from the meat farm. As you do. And with said money, I stocked the hell up on healing stuff, which made most battles pretty simple. Kinda cheap tactic, but it works. Some Digimon are balls to find and recruit. Seadramon, for example, requires you to fish them out of the lake at a specific time of day, and I shit you not, this is the hardest fishing minigame I've ever played. Stardew Valley's got nothing on this. Some Digimon just have like a 3% chance to show up in a certain area. Another little nitpick is that some Digimon are so annoying. Piximon is constantly flapping their wings to move around and it's all you hear. Makes me never want to get some of these. Fast forward to like 2013 when I found the strategy guide for the game and decided that I was going to properly dive in and finish this thing. Yeah, this thing's about as useless as the Prima Digimon World Strategy Guide. It's so bad it's become my new frame of reference. But I can't blame them, there's no way anyone could learn enough about this game in time to make a cohesive guide in the amount of time that they had, you know? But all that being said, this game is so good! Recruiting new Digimon back to File City and seeing how the town develops is so rewarding! Recruiting Seadramon gives you access to Beetle Island where you can grab Kabuterimon and Kuwagamon who boost the effectiveness of the training. Centauramon opens a hospital where you can heal tiredness and other effects. Birdramon opens fast travel, Agumon hosts a bank. A myriad of Digimon work at the shop, changing on what you can buy. Every Digimon you add to the city makes the game that much better. It's really well done. And the world is like my favorite aesthetic. Nature with electronics naturally forming, circuit board walkways, outlets in the ground, screens and cables just all over the place like a normal thing. It's so unique and charming. And these pre-rendered backgrounds have aged beautifully. From piles of trash to toy cities to sprawling plains and lakes, this is the PlayStation at its prime. The music is gorgeous too, I could listen to Gear Savannah all day. I don't really have an end gag, go play Digimon World. Just bring a guide. No, not that one! Hey, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my Patreon. I want to buy a small piano for my cat.